Hello everybody and happy Monday. It's time for another episode of Mark's Monday Minutes in Portland Real Estate. It is the week of November 6th. That's right, the first full week of November. And let me guess, we've all heard the real estate market is gonna crash. I'm sorry, the data, as I have repeatedly said for months, data does not support that assumption, that conclusion. Why is that? Well, for three reasons. One, we're seeing that buyers came out of the woodwork this last week. Number two, sellers are preparing for the spring. And number three, the forecast is looking rather rosy for sellers and possibly for buyers. Let's get into the details. All right, first of all, I just want to say this week is a surprise. It's a surprise to me. It was a surprise also at national levels for the podcasts that I watch. The number of active listings in Portland, 4,278, trending downwards as we would expect. Nationally, they seem to have hit the ceiling. For us, we're starting to drop. We've been dropping now for 3 weeks in a row. So I think we've hit the top number of listings that we're going to see in Portland as we decline now into the holiday season. Then after the first of the year, should start to pick up in the spring, as per normal. The number of new listings this week, 433, up from 397 last week. The number of pending homes, this is a surprise, 390. This is the highest number of homes that have gone pending since September. In the last month, this is the highest number. Why is that? Listings are coming, inventory is coming down, but the number of homes that went pending. Why is this? Savvy buyers who just been sitting on the fence waiting saw a slight drop this week in interest rates and they went, boom, I'm on it, it's mine. So buyers stepped up and bought this week. That's a good sign for sellers. Now the number of homes that sold, 348, those are homes that went under contract a month ago. It's actually, again, the highest point we've seen in a month. So buyers a month ago were interested, then we've seen a decline, and now it's as those interest rates dropped, officially raised up over 8%, now they've dropped, now the buyers are back in season. Also at the same time, looking at the number of price-adjusted homes that have had a change in price of at least $99 in the last 45 days, dropped to 26.2%. This is the lowest point, again, in at least 5 weeks. Mirroring national trends that are cresting about 37%, Portland is sitting at 26% of homes that have had a price adjustment. Number of coming soon homes, 21. And the number of sold homes in the last 30 days, 1,489. It's actually giving us the lowest inventory rate, or the lowest inventory amount, and the clearance rate, the months of inventory, that again, we've also seen since September, 2.87 months. We've been at over 3% all month long in October, and then this week it dropped down. Now, let's talk about those 4-car garage homes. Homes for sale with a 4-car garage, 111, down from 118 last week, 39 of which were under $1 million, the affordable 4-car garage homes, if you will. The number of new homes this week, both new and pending this week, both 9 new homes and 9 pending homes. Now, of those new homes, 6 were under $1 million. Of the pending homes, 3 of those 9 were under $1 million. So there's definitely activity going at again, new listings coming to market and buyers seizing the opportunity. The number of sold homes in the last week, also 9, 3 9s in a row. It's not like 3 7s on the slot machine, but 3 9s. Of those 9 that have sold in the last month, or in the last week, 5 of them were under $1 million. Number of total homes that have sold with a 4-car garage in the last 30 days, 31. Surprising. 12 of these are under $1 million. That leaves another 19 that are over $1 million. So there's surprising activity. Many of those buyers, as we mentioned last week, are cash buyers, simply reallocating assets elsewhere, putting them into secure real estate investments. It makes sense. It's solid, less volatile than the stock market and perhaps other investments. Now, let's talk about those takeaways. What we're noticing is that mortgage rates and inventory are suspected to go together. What do I mean by that? Is buyers are more motivated by changes in mortgage rates rather than the actual rate itself. We're realizing that 8% may be the high water mark. It is where we are today. So if it drops from there and it drops to 7.5, it's a 0.5% improvement over where it was 2-3 weeks ago. Yes, it's not the same rate that we had a year ago or 2 years ago. That is just the reality of today. You can't go back. As my father says, live in the past, it's cheaper. You can't do it now, so you can live for today. If you choose to refinance in the future when rates are better, that's a win. In the interim, you get to lock a rate now, and buyers have done that. So as those rates dipped, I saw this in some of my listings. I had suddenly buyer appointments, buyer showings on those listings that have been quiet for 3 weeks. Buyers are reacting to slight changes in mortgage rates. As a result, is these buyers, again, highest number of pending homes we've seen in a month, buyers are going to start to clear out what inventory is there. So those inventory levels are going to have 2 points of downward pressure. Sellers who are realizing maybe they're going to wait and put their home, relaunch it back in the spring, and then buyers who choose to buy a home drop it down. So inventory will drop down much as mortgage rates drop down. As you put more inventory in, more rates, buyers will buy them, bringing it back down. Again, 2 points of downward pressure on inventory and purchasing. Now, for sellers, again, what I'm seeing with sellers, although we've seen more listings come to market this week, we're seeing fewer with the price adjustment. And what I suspect, and the data shows this, is that the sellers whose homes have not sold, they're not in the position where there are some they have to sell, but majority of sellers don't have to sell. So perhaps they withdraw their home from the market and they wait to relist it in the spring, February or March. This, again, contributes to lower inventory levels, which is normal. It also allows them to refresh the house, take new pictures, wait for spring garden pictures. What I suspect is when that fresh inventory comes back to market, by then those buyers will have been waiting in hibernation, ready to step back up, and that pulls that inventory back down. So absolutely a good position to be a seller in the spring based on forecasting. Obviously, this is looking at data. This is not looking at any global or national trends and any other big changes, but the data does not support a crash or price reductions or any sudden spike in inventory. There's no source for that. We can talk more about this any other time. Always reach out to me, Mark at Portland Homes for Cars. I am always happy to answer your questions, provide the data so that you can make an educated decision. That's it. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week.